What up? It's your boy Wall Street, ready to talk hoops with the squad, because that's what I do. And without further ado, I want to talk about the team in Philadelphia, the 76ers, because they're terrible, and they shouldn't be. And I want to talk about what the best move for them going forward would be. And me personally, I think it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to start a rebuild, which obviously Philly fans are familiar with. The quote unquote trust the process has been, might be the 10-year anniversary of trust the process at this point. When the Sixers were tanking as much as possible, they actually changed the NBA lottery so that the bottom three teams, so the three teams with the top chances to win the lottery, now have tied odds to get the number one overall pick. As before, when the Sixers were, doing all their nonsense, the worst team in the league had 25% chance odds to win the lottery. Now, I believe it's the top three are all tied at 14% to get the number one pick. So it's a significant change. It's 11% difference. So that's why you see, the Pistons, be the worst team in the league 2 years in a row and get the fifth pick both years. It's messed up. So I would blame the Sixers for that. Pistons fans, they're going to be real mad at Philadelphia in Detroit. But getting off topic. So the Sixers are just awful. They suck. They're just bad. They're bad. And I thought it was a bad move when they signed a 34-year-old Paul George to a max contract in the offseason. I like the mentality, but it's just not a good move. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, by the time you're done paying Paul George, he's going to be 38 years old. You're going to be paying a 38-year-old Paul George, 30, 40 plus $million. It doesn't make a lot of sense. You're probably going to wind up trading him, yada, yada, whatever. So if I was a Sixers fan, I'd be hot, dog. No glizzy. That shit is just not, I don't know why they would do that. And Joel Embiid is clearly not a reliable player in terms of his health. And frankly, even when he's been on the court this season, he's looked bad. He has not looked good. And I've defended Joel Embiid. I think he's a really good player. I think he gets a bad rap a lot of the time. People always call him out for foul baiting, this and that. But, if you want to call him out for foul baiting, you call out, another 20% of the league. So I'm not going to, he's a huge guy. And he plays a certain way, and he plays in an effective way. That's why he won the MVP award. So, but as far as a rebuild, there's a couple reasons why I think it would make sense. So obviously their star rookie that they have, Jared McCain, had a tear. I think it was in his knee. I believe he has an injury, and now he's going to be out indefinitely. So he was, really leading the way to be rookie of the year. There wasn't really anyone catching him. So that's going to, if he's just going to be out for the rest of the season, he's not going to be able to, I think, be eligible to win the award because he'll only have played 20 to 25 games. So wouldn't make a lot of sense. So that opens things up from the rookie of the year award race, but also decreases the Sixers' odds of actually putting together a commendable season, because they're currently 7-16. They are tied for the sixth worst team in the league. Or I'm sorry, they're not tied for the sixth worst team. I think they just are the sixth worst team in the league. And they have a stipulation with their draft pick this year. So it is conveyed to OKC, but it is protected for selections 1 through 6. In 2025. If it is not conveyed in 2025, it then moves to a protected pick 1 through 4 in 2026. And then again, if it is not conveyed, it's 1 through 4 protected in 2027. And if it does not convey at that point, it will turn into a second round pick in 2027 that will go to OKC. So obviously, this is a very talented draft class this year. And it might be helpful if they were able to get a top 6 pick, right? Especially if they don't get a top 6 pick, they're not going to have a pick in the draft. So OKC has just done an incredible job of stockpiling draft picks, and the way they've done this is by incorporating these stipulations, for picks that are protected, because unprotected picks are pretty hard for teams to give up at this stage of the NBA. But doing it with protections, especially for a team like the Sixers, they're like, oh, okay, maybe this will just give us a little, cushion in case we are bad. But now that they actually fit that, right, and they are the 6th worst team in the league, does it make sense to, rest Joel Embiid, let him get fully healthy, let him get into shape, rest Paul George, don't push Tyrese Maxey too hard, let Jared McCain heal up and do what he has to do? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Because realistically, the way they've looked this season, I don't think they're winning a title. Even if they make the playoffs, I don't think they're winning a title. There's just no way. I don't think they would win a series against the Atlanta Hawks. I don't think they'd win a series against Milwaukee. I don't think they'd win a series against Orlando, against New York. I don't think they'd win series against any of, the prominent to semi-prominent teams in the Eastern Conference playoff race right now. I just don't see it happening. So, again, tanking is one thing to be able to keep your draft pick, but do you also explore an option to trade Joel Embiid or potentially trade Paul George? I don't know what his contract says. Obviously, he was just recently signed in the offseason. If it's like most other deals, I believe he becomes trade eligible on December 15th. And if that's the case, maybe they start shopping around. But I don't think anyone's trading for Joel Embiid or Paul George right now with the way they've looked. It's just, I don't know what they're doing. So the one place I do think would be very interesting for Joel Embiid to go would be Miami, because Miami is pretty renowned for, their player development staff and their training staff. They really get guys in shape and get them to have incredible stamina and be able to play a lot of minutes. And I think that's an environment that Joel Embiid needs. Frankly, it's an environment that Zion Williamson needs too. So either of them going there would work. But let's stick with the Sixers for now. Excuse me. So I think that would be an interesting, combination. Obviously, though, what are you giving up then? Are you giving up Bam Adebayo? Are you giving up Jimmy Butler? Are you giving up Duncan Robinson? Are you giving up, you could be giving up a number of people. Tyler Hero. Like, who are you giving up? So I think there's plenty of teams that would take a chance trading for Joel Embiid. I also think right now the stock's pretty low, so maybe you can get him on a deal, right? Maybe people are like, oh, he's not going to be good anymore. He's bad. This is it. This is the downturn. And then maybe you get him on the cheap, and it's not actually a downturn, right? A lot about a player and how they actually play from day to day has a lot to do with the team and the environment that they're in. So I think a basic change of scenery for someone like Joel Embiid might make a big difference. But who knows? But would I try to do a rebuild this year if I was the Sixers and at least, rest guys up, get my young guys to play, and, just try to keep that draft pick? Absolutely, yes. I don't see another reason to not do that. So that's what I would do. I think if they try to really push it and, make it into the playoffs, they're going to be a play-in team. I don't think they're going to be a top 6 seed. And, who knows? They'll get into the playoffs and they're going to play, the Celtics or the Cavs. They're not winning that series. So, like I was saying, I don't see them winning against the Knicks, the Magic, the Hawks, the Bucks, and none of those teams are even comparable to the Celtics or the Cavs right now. So it doesn't seem like it's really going to be a good time for the Sixers and Sixers fans. I feel for you guys, but I would rebuild it. I would rebuild it. Try to get a high draft pick. Try to, deal off some of your players if the opportunity presents itself and the opportunity seems right. I would do it. But, see what the trade market commands. You feel me? But yeah, that's about it. I want to know what you guys think though. So please leave some comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. What you think about the Sixers? You think they should, blow this whole thing up? You think they should stay strong and just, rest their guys? Or do you think they should really make a push for the playoffs? Do you think they have a chance to win the title this year? I'd love to know your thoughts. Leave those comments. Let me know what it is. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and click the subscribe button. And without further ado, catch you guys with the next one. Take it easy, stay safe, watch some hoops, handle business. Peace.